Sometimes in life you just have to slow down, don't you?
Yeah, and maybe it's exactly when you don't want to slow down because you're feeling anxious.
I think you've hit it on the nail.
Yeah.
It's when you don't want to slow down or you feel as if you can't.
When you think, no, I can't slow down because you're like racing along. That's
and have all this anxiety within you.
Yeah, that's when you actually need to slow down the most. So that's what we're going to be talking about
in Get Real with the
English Sisters.
Today's episode of our podcast. Please do come and see us on YouTube too. And remember to subscribe and leave a comment on Spotify. You can actually leave comments, which is really nice.
Yeah, as our podcast is growing. And we really get excited when we see the numbers grow.
And when we see your lovely comments too.
Yeah. So, right, let's get cracking. Or let's get not cracking, let's get slowing. Make it into a...
Slow down. Slow.
Cut it out. Yeah, you want to slow down, man. Yep.
It's like when you have anxiety, you have to take a deep breath and then you focus on 3 things in the room, don't you? Focus on your feet on the ground, how your breath is, slow it down, take a deep breath.
Yeah, what it feels like to be sitting in whatever chair if you're sitting, or what your clothes feel like against your body. And what these things do is that they bring you immediately back into the moment.
Into the present moment, instead of a racing mind.
Exactly.
Because your mind can be going like 100 kilometers or miles an hour, and your body is just actually standing still. You're not even running.
Yeah, but you feel as if you're running.
You feel as if you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah, with anxiety it can be like that, especially with recurring thoughts.
The recurring thoughts are the worst.
They are the worst, yeah. And I know from experience they're horrible. I know from our clients what they tell us, they can't sleep at night many times because the thought just keeps on popping in. How do you get rid of these recurring thoughts?
Well, you have to cut them in half. You have to imagine you have a pair of scissors and you just cut them in half. You cut the thread as if they're coming in on a thread, like on a tape or a piece of string, and you just cut it.
You cut it and set it free.
Yeah.
And you say thank you to your brain. Yeah. You say thank you. You've reminded me, or I know I need to get that done, or I'm processing this, but now once you've accepted it,
it's time for rest.
It's time for rest, and you cut it free.
And you can also do that by taking a few deep breaths and thinking of your favourite colour, something along those lines.
Yes. Yeah, colour does help me to a certain point. But, I do like to imagine like the cutting and, things like that.
Practical
so,
things.
Yeah,
so like if you had a tool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like cutting the thread or, like...
If you can imagine it also like as if they're all in a balloon, your thoughts, and then you're holding the balloon and then you just let the balloon go and it floats away.
Oh, the relief.
Yes.
You feel so much lighter when these things are let go of. And it's, they're things that you worry about. That's what a recurring thought is. Basically, it's worry and worry and worry.
And you know what they say about worry, 80% of it never actually happens. So it's not even productive.
About the things you worry about. Yeah, that's true, yeah. It's only productive hardly never. But unless it's there to warn you about something.
No, it's there to productive. It's to warn you, say, to go to the doctor or
to go,
if you're worried about and get something done, or to pay your bills.
Study for your exams.
Yeah, study for your. If it actually makes you do an action.
Yes.
Then it's
because it's the action that is going to solve. So you need a thought and a thought that takes you to an action. But a lot of the time, worry doesn't actually take you to an action. It just keeps
it takes you down that rabbit hole of
horrible
anxiety, and it leads even to depression afterwards, which is not a good thing.
No, you don't want to go all the way down there. No, you want to lighten up, lighten your load up, and definitely be able to let the balloon float up and feel so much lighter, like the weight is literally lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah, and when you slow down a racing mind, that's when all the good things start to happen.
Yes, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, be productive.
No.
And you can't work fast. It's like, the firefighters, when they put on their armour, they say fast but smooth.
Yes.
Well, at least that's what I watched in a TV program. I have no idea if you're a real firefighter out there.
That's not true.
It's not true. I watched this episode of this firefighters thing, and I thought that's quite a good motto. So she was basically teaching the trainees to go really fast, to be quick, because obviously it's a firefighter program, and she was teaching them to quickly put on
fire camp.
Well, whatever, yeah, and at the same time to do it really smoothly. So I thought, fast doesn't necessarily mean frenetic. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be done in an anxious. It can be done fast but smooth,
fast and efficient.
Yeah, like you see sometimes in those massive cooking programs, when each one is doing their thing, like in the top restaurants or something, you see they've got a line going, and it's going, obviously, unless it's in Hell's Kitchen or something, it's all going really...
Where they're all swearing at each other.
Well, that's why it's called hell. But in
an organised kitchen, it has to be like that, because otherwise nothing would get done.
Exactly. So it's fast, but it's all smooth. So you're smooth. It goes. You're calm while you're doing it.
Because I think if you're a chef and you're in that meditative state of just getting things done, you're almost like in meditation. You're like in a heightened state of focused attention.
You are definitely in a heightened state.
So you're just focused on doing that, and that's your job, and you're just doing it calmly and slowly.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
Even though you're getting it all done on time.
Yeah, because you would think, gosh, that must be...
But you notice when you do things really rushed, the onions fall on the floor.
Oh, it's terrible.
You break a glass.
Oh my gosh. When I do things when I'm feeling anxious, they never turn out right. No. I might as well not bother, because it's not going to work.
You burn the oil.
You burn everything. You try and make something. You say, because your mind wasn't in the right place when you started it. And yet, when you're in the right place, you can go really fast, really focused.
Yeah, you chop those onions lovely.
Yeah, everything is done like effortlessly. And, it all goes smooth, but fast at the same time. Yeah. So it's not what one would think, that you have to be some kind of a calm monk to get, go through life. No, you can have this kind of state of mind where you do, if you're feeling anxious, you can let go, put them in the balloon, like what you said. There are small techniques that can help you.
Yes, just ground yourself a minute and take a deep breath.
Yeah, exactly. That really, really does help.
Yeah.
Taking one
and
or
even
two
just
or three.
taking a time out. Say if you're in a difficult position and you suddenly start getting really anxious, say if you're talking to your boss or something,
right?
Just say I need a moment and go to the toilet, go to the ladies or gentlemen's or unisex toilets and have a little break.
Yeah. Nothing was ever wiser than doing something like that.
Yeah, and then coming back with a calm, collected mind to talk, because when you're over anxious, you either might break down and you may not want to show that vulnerability to your boss.
Yeah.
Or on the other hand, you might start shouting and getting really irritated.
Yeah, so you either break down or you break up, which is not good, or you break out, towards the other person, and that's not good either. So either through vulnerability and, getting very emotional, perhaps crying, or maybe like what you said, shouting and becoming aggressive. None of them are the right kind of state you want to be in. Mm-hmm. You want to go smoothly, you want it to be, so you collect yourself a moment, like what you said, by distancing yourself is a good idea in that particular example. Definitely. And so what else can we say about this? Smooth and fast. The essence is...
I think it's that snail story in the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
The tortoise.
The tortoise story.
The tortoise,
yeah.
The tortoise and the hare.
Yeah, why did you say snail?
I don't know. I think in another country it's called a snail in it.
Yeah.
Or what?
Well, yeah, it's obviously a fairy fable.
It's a fable.
Yes, it's a fable.
The tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
And in the end, the tortoise arrives first, and they can't. They're not
yeah.
supposed to be fast walkers, even though we've seen they do walk quite fast.
They are pretty quick. I mean, there's a difference between tortoise and turtle. Yeah, but
you have turtles in your garden, and they're pretty fast.
Are mine turtles?
Yeah,
the water turtle. Yeah, they're not tortoise.
Well,
anyway,
if they're water tortoise, they're pretty.
They're pretty fast.
Pretty speedy.
They get out of that pond fast enough, don't they? Anyway, yeah, that is the old age, thing about going slowly sometimes helps, but that used to get a bit on my nerves when I was,
did on mine.
Yeah, because
I never understood it.
And I do like to go quite quickly.
Because you used to walk fast.
Yeah, I'm a person that does like to do things pretty quickly.
Yeah, but you do need to slow down, though,
I
don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do have to. No, you're right. I do need to learn to slow down, and when I do slow down, I'm more efficient.
Exactly. Maybe sometimes when things irk you a bit or get on your nerves a bit, it's because there's a lesson to be learned from it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There's it touches a nerve.
Definitely. Yeah, and you think, why don't I like doing that? Because it's something you need to learn from that. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you mean I like doing things?
Because you like to do things very quickly.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
do
pretty
as
quick
well
as
now,
well.
but as I've got older. But before, I used to take my time a lot.
Well, it depends. If it was creating your perfect dress that you wanted for the next day, you would do that really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Depends. Yeah.
But I was patient.
You were patient.
I would be very patient. You'd have to go and buy the fabric. It wasn't now you order it all online. It was all step by step.
Step by step, you're right, yeah.
It was all take ages. If you wanted to make a jumper, sometimes you'd have to order the wool. They didn't have it. You'd have to go to lots of departments.
But not order it online. You'd have to go to this old little store.
Now you have to go to a little store.
Try and find the store.
Even when we were in London, when I was in London,
yes,
even
absolutely.
then they had all the big department stores, but you had to go to each of them to try and find what you needed and buy it all. Sometimes it wasn't in stock, you had to wait.
So you're trying to say that perhaps today's modern world is a little bit,
Well,
the fastness of it.
We used to think that in those days, you just said, I made the dress and
overnight,
the jumper overnight. Yeah, sometimes it was true. But to get the fabric and everything...
There was patience.
Obviously, there was a lot of patience, Sometimes I would just take an old rag, an old curtain and make something.
Yeah.
That when I wasn't patient, I would look at to see what Mum had. If she had some old curtains, I would say, can I use these?
Yeah,
and
I remember
then make
that.
A dress.
I remember you made a dress once.
But but if I did have one, I used to have more patience. But we had the perfect example today at the hairdressers this morning. When the computer broke down and they all started getting so edgy and nervous. And I said, it's only been it wasn't even 10 seconds, I don't think, 20 seconds. Oh, sorry, it's the computer's not working. I'm so sorry, this has happened. And they started getting quite upset about the whole thing. And I said, this is because in today's world, we're so used to having everything so quickly.
So quickly, absolutely, yeah. I wonder if that doesn't it's not natural for us either.
I don't think it is natural.
I mean, not that I would want it any other way, because I'm the same as everyone else. We're used to it
We're
used to it.
But we have to just take a step back and say, hey, it's okay, just take a breath. Take the opportunity to smile at the person in front of you, have a little chat.
Yeah.
I do think that is why anxiety has increased so much as well. Mm-hmm. Because our fast-paced society, everything is so fast and so quick.
Yeah, we can't get away from that, but we can learn how to manage it.
We can learn how to manage it and how to slow down and how to think it's
ourselves
okay,
in our own mind.
And also think if something isn't working or not going right, just take the opportunity to take a breath. If something stops working for a minute.
Yeah.
Or if you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Take a breath, look at a different road that you might not have seen, a different building.
Absolutely.
It's all about that in the end. It's about slowing down to have more time. Because if you're stuck in traffic for 15 or 20 minutes, and then you get all worked up about it. then you get to the office or wherever you're going and you're all worked up. You're not going to be very productive, are you?
No, you've literally wasted that time.
Whereas if you're stuck in traffic and you think, I just go over my PowerPoint, or I just go over what I need to do when I get in, you're all calm when you get in.
Well,
and
you're
you
more
just
productive.
Do it much more efficiently and calmly, and you're not even stressed out.
No, that is so true. Yeah. Letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go, definitely.
Let us know what you're going to let go of this week.
Yeah.
And in the weeks to come. And what you're going to keep. And what you're... Hope you keep listening to this podcast.
She says with a suspicious look in her eyes.
Because we're not ready to let go of you.
No, we definitely not. Love you so much. And thank you so much for listening.
So, goodbye for today. Love and smiles from the English sisters. Bye-bye.